Welcome. My name is Jennifer Ledbetter. I serve as your Labor and Employee Relations Manager with the Human Resources and Organizational Management Branch here at Headquarters, United States Marine Corps. Our office presents trainings in support of our ongoing effort to bring relevant and reliable developmental opportunities to our customers. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to today's presentation entitled Defense Performance Management Appraisal Program Training for Supervisors, also referred to as DPMAP. DPMAP is a collaborative labor management effort to improve human resource practices and policies in the Department of Defense, which helps foster a cultural change that encourages employee engagement, ongoing communication, ongoing employee recognition, accountability, timelines, and requirements. This presentation will guide supervisors through the performance appraisal process and further explain the attributes DPMAP has to offer. Thank you for joining us today.
Today we will discuss creating a performance plan, progress reviews, annual appraisals and ratings, specially situated employees. The appraisal cycle runs from 1 April through 31 March. A minimum of 3 performance discussions are required: initial, progress review, and annual appraisal, but more are highly recommended. DPMAP uses a 3-level rating pattern. 5 is outstanding, 3 fully successful, and 1 unacceptable. Please take note of the link to access DPMAP. Once you are in, click on the green smart card icon and select your non-email certificate. To access your employee's performance appraisal, click on the Performance Management and Appraisal button on the left side of the screen under Key Services section. On this screen, select DoD Performance Management Appraisal Program from the Create a New Plan drop-down menu and then select Go. This is the Supervisory Commitment Statement screen. Ensure the hierarchy is accurate, then click on the Acknowledge button at the bottom of the screen. Before we get into the steps for initiating and creating the performance plan, the information on this slide is very important. Remember, the minimum period of performance is 90 days for an employee to be eligible to receive a rating. Supervisors should allow employees the opportunity to provide input into their performance elements and standards. Each employee must have a written performance plan within 30 days of the appraisal cycle, new position, new set of duties, and/or a new supervisor. Plans can only be revised once the employee has had 90 days or more on the original plan. The data on the screen is auto-populated with default dates. DPMAP cycle runs from 1 April to 31 March yearly. You can override these dates by using the drop-down list or manually entering them. The only reason you would have to change the start date would be if your employee started their position after 1 April. The end date will always be the same, 31 March, unless the employee is extended. The effective date will always be the same, 1 June. Once you click on Save and Continue, you will be taken to Step 2, Mission Goals. Notice the system automatically took you to Step 2, Mission Goals, at the top of the screen. Make sure the organization's mission goals are entered in this section. Once complete, select Save and Continue at the bottom right of the screen. Once you have clicked Save and Continue, you will now be at the 3rd tab at the top of the page, Performance Elements and Standards. Keep in mind that performance elements tell an employee what to do. Performance standards tell an employee how to accomplish performance elements. These should be written in the SMART criteria: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Avoid using absolute standards, for example, 100%, always, never. Maximum of 10 elements is allowed. In the Add Performance Element and Standards pages, each element will have a title and a box for the supervisor to enter their comments. You are even able to perform a spell check. Once you have provided information for all elements and standards, click on Save and add another performance element at the top right side of screen until you have entered them all. Once they have all been entered, click on Save, as this button will automatically take you to the Acknowledgement and Approval screen, the fourth tab at the top of the screen. Once here, click on Transfer to Employee, located at the top of the screen. This will put the plan back into the ownership of the employee for their acknowledgement. This screen will allow you to send specific instructions to your employee via email when you send the plan back to them for acknowledgement. Once the employee receives the plan and acknowledges it, they will return it to you to commence the approval and acknowledgement process. The RO has two options. Option A, transfer to the HLR. This option is used when the HLR needs to approve the performance plan. Or option B, the RO documents the approval of the HLR review on their behalf. Once the plan has been approved by the RO and the HLR, the plan must be sent back to the employee for acknowledgement. To begin this process, click on the Start button displayed by the red box on the screen. Once you click Start, it will bring you to the screen where you can document how you communicated the plan to the employee, for example, face-to-face, telephone, or other. Click Yes when complete. Once the rating official documents communication to the employee, the new tabs will appear at the top of the screen to complete the appraisal lifecycle. The rating official can capture various scenarios if the employee is unable or refuse to acknowledge their plan. The Track Progress button, located at the top right of the screen, is a useful tool as it lets you see who is in possession of the plan. This is what the Track Progress screen looks like. There will be a check mark by the individual who performed the action. Once you are finished, click on the Return to Main Page button located at the top of the screen. Then click Go. If you or the employee need to make any modifications to the plan, go back to the My Performance Main Page tab, located at the top left of the screen, and you will once again go through the approval and acknowledgement process. This screen takes you through each element that needs to be modified. Once complete, click on Save and Continue button until finished. The RO has the capability to decline the amendment and revert back to the last approved plan, or reapprove the modified performance plan. Remember that a new 90-day observation period begins for any modified element. When complete, click on Yes. In order to commence the progress review, you must have ownership of the plan. If you have ownership, you may click on Update and Go. If for any reason you cannot commence the progress review, check to see who is in possession of the plan. You can also use the Track Progress tool at this point. If the HLR has given the RO authority to document both the RO's decisions and hit the HLR's approval, the RO will select option B. Option B also applies if the RO is the HLR or there is no HLR. Enter the date the HLR reviewed the progress review and the communication method. Now it is time for the annual review. Click on the Annual Appraisal tab at the top of the screen. First, ensure the dates are correct. If the dates are incorrect, this will directly affect the employee's eligibility for an award. Ensure the RO and the HLR are correct. Then click on Save and Continue. After the employee has had an opportunity to add their employee input, the RO adds their assessment and assigns a rating number to the element, depending on the level of the employee's performance. The employee's performance is rated at the end of the cycle. 5 is outstanding, 3 is fully successful, 1 is unacceptable. Remember, the employee must have been under an approved performance plan for 90 calendar days during the rating cycle. This slide displays the math used in order to calculate the employee's overall rating of record. For example 1, total of 4 elements. 3 elements are rated as 5 and 1 is rated as a 3. So you would add them all together. It looks like 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 3 would equal 18. Then you divide that 18 by the average of all elements. 18 divided by 4 equals 4.5, which equals a level 5 outstanding. If an employee scores a 4.3 or above, they are in the outstanding category. If an employee scores a 4.2 to 3.0, they are fully successful. If they score a 1 in any of the elements, they are considered unacceptable even if they scored a 3 or a 5 in the other elements. For example, your employee has 3 elements. They're scored 5, 5, and a 1. This totals 11. 11 divided by the 3 elements equals 3.7. Regardless, they are rated as unacceptable since one of their elements was rated a 1. The annual appraisal, approvals, and acknowledgement functions are the same steps you perform during the performance plans, approvals, and acknowledgements process. Click on Save and Continue. This screen shows you that the annual appraisal is now complete. You may print a copy of the completed plan for your records. Specially situated employees. Special circumstances that may affect an employee's eligibility for a performance rating are detail or matrixed employees, union reps, military service, leave without pay or extended paid leave, and or long-term full-time training. What happens if the employee transfers or the supervisor leaves? First, if the supervisor leaves, a performance narrative is required if an employee has performed for 90 days and there are more than 90 days left on the rated cycle. Second, rating is required when an employee has performed under an approved plan for 90 days and the employee or supervisor leaves the organization with less than 90 days left. And thirdly, if supervisor cannot complete the rating, the higher level reviewer will serve as a rating official. Remember, the only time an appraisal is closed out is if the employee leaves. Also remember to periodically log into the system. If it remains inactive for 30 days, you will be booted from the system and have to request access again.